For over 2 centuries, intelligent people have spent fortunes digging a hole on a Canadian island, convinced treasure waits below. Oak Island sits off the coast of Nova Scotia, unremarkable except for one thing, a legend that refuses to die. In 1795, a teenager named Daniel Magines found a circular depression in the earth, ringed by an old pulley system. He was convinced he'd stumbled onto something extraordinary. He wasn't alone in that conviction. What followed was a cascade of excavations, bankruptcies, and broken promises spanning generations. The early diggers found something that seemed to confirm their hopes, a layer of flagstone about 90 feet down, then another, then wooden platforms every 10 feet or so descending deeper. Each discovery felt like proof. Each layer whispered, "Keep going. Someone built this intentionally. Someone hid something here." But there was a problem. Every time they got close to the bottom, water flooded in. Not seepage, torrential, catastrophic water that seemed almost designed to stop them. This wasn't random. The diggers became convinced they were fighting an elaborate booby trap. Someone had engineered the island itself as a lock. Throughout the 1800s, dozens of syndicates formed. Money poured in from wealthy investors convinced this was the work of pirates or Templars or some lost civilization. Each expedition left the island deeper, more scarred, more expensive. Each one failed, but failure didn't discourage the next attempt. Somehow, Oak Island had become a kind of collective obsession. What if I told you that none of those layers were necessarily man-made? What if the flagstones were natural? The wooden platforms, just decomposing roots and tree stumps. The water flooding in, exactly what you'd expect from an island surrounded by ocean, where the water table rises and falls with the tide. Modern archaeologists have examined Oak Island with tools the 19th century couldn't dream of. Ground-penetrating radar, core sampling, detailed geological surveys. Their conclusion? Underwhelming. The island shows no signs of intentional human engineering. No treasure vault, no pirate cache, no Templar horde, just geology doing what geology does. Yet the digging continues. Today, a television show documents the search with cinematography worthy of an epic drama. Millions watch as teams descend with modern equipment, driven by the same conviction that seized Daniel Magines 200 years ago. The mystery has become more valuable than any treasure ever could be. Because here's what's truly worth understanding: we don't want to solve Oak Island, we want it to remain unsolved. A solved mystery is just history, an unsolved one is possibility. It's the gap between what we know and what we hope that keeps us invested. The human mind is wired to see patterns, to believe that effort will be rewarded, that hidden things exist waiting to be found. Oak Island exploits that wiring perfectly. Every dead end becomes a reason to dig deeper. Every failure becomes evidence of a more elaborate conspiracy. The original investors in the 1800s lost fortunes. Some lost everything. Families were ruined, marriages fractured under the strain, and yet they dug, because the promise of discovery is sometimes more powerful than the reality of loss. There's a peculiar beauty in this. Oak Island doesn't need to hide actual treasure for it to be valuable. It's already done something more remarkable. It's created a community of seekers united across centuries by shared curiosity. That's worth something. But let's be honest about what we're really looking at. Oak Island is a masterclass in confirmation bias. Believers find evidence everywhere because they're looking for it. A stone arrangement becomes a marker. A gap in the earth becomes a tunnel. Absence of proof becomes proof of conspiracy. The tragic part is that in chasing this phantom, people have overlooked genuine mysteries. There are real shipwrecks with documented cargo lists, actual lost civilizations with archaeological evidence, authenticated treasures waiting in archives, but they are less romantic than Oak Island's whisper of the unknown. What Oak Island really teaches us is something darker: how desperately we want to believe in magic, how we'll reinterpret evidence, ignore contradictions, and pour resources into impossible dreams rather than accept that sometimes a hole is just a hole. Yet I understand the appeal. In a world that feels increasingly explained, increasingly mapped and quantified, Oak Island represents the last refuge of genuine mystery. It's a permission slip to believe in the unknown. That's powerful, even if the treasure never existed. The island itself is indifferent to our obsession. It will keep its secrets, real or imagined, as long as we keep looking. And we will keep looking because the search is the point. The search has always been the point. 2 centuries of digging, millions spent, families ruined, and still the whole remains incomplete, the mystery unsolved, the treasure, if it ever existed, undiscovered. Maybe that's exactly how the island likes it. Oak Island isn't really about treasure. It's about what we're willing to sacrifice for the possibility of something greater. It's about hope, obsession, and the thin line between them. And it's a reminder that sometimes the mystery is worth more than any answer could ever be. Subscribe, there's a new obsession, unsolved and waiting every week.